wait, don't throw that out. Potato peels, carrot peels, leftover vegetable scraps, even leftover veggies you're not going to eat. Instead, store them in a bag in the freezer and then stay tuned to find out what we can make with that. When you are ready to make your broth, pull it out of the freezer and put it into a stock pot. What I like to do is put it on a low heat and start breaking it up that way. You could let it sit out ahead of time to thaw out. You could also just go ahead and add the water now, but for me, breaking it up and letting the vegetables cook just a little bit, get some of the juices out, and I feel like just makes it a better product. You don't have to constantly try to cut it apart. Break some off, go ahead, do something different, come back to it a few minutes later, and more of it will break apart. And I keep doing this until pretty much everything has broken apart real good, and then we go to the next step. Okay, so once you get your frozen vegetables dumped into your stock pot and you start breaking them up, and you try to get them, they don't have to be completely thawed out, but get them pretty much unfrozen, just put them in chunks as small as possible. Then what you want to do is pour in some water, and for this amount of vegetables, I'm going to pour in at least twice, maybe 2.5 times as much water, and that's how much stock I'm going to get out of it. Okay, I make sure all the vegetables are covered really good, and then I'm going to turn the heat up high and put the lid back on, and then that's going to let them come to just a slow boil, and then I'm going to turn it down and let it simmer probably about 45 minutes. So the broth has been boiling for a while now, that low simmer, and it is time to strain it. So the first thing I do is strain it through a large colander. This is going to capture the peels and different vegetable bits that are in it. Drain it out really good to get as much of the broth out as you can. Okay, so now that the broth has been, we've strained it out, got the vegetable peels and things out, now I'm going to run it through several more strainers just to get a lot of the sediment out of it, and then it'll be ready to put in the freezer cubes. And this is the finer mesh, and it collected even more. Okay, once the broth has finished cooking and you've strained out as much as you can, then you're going to need to freeze it. That's what I do with it. You can also can it if you want to, but I like to freeze it. And this was an ice cube tray that I got as a gift with some other stuff. And each of these cubes was about 1/3 of a cup. So this is what I have used for quite a while. But this year, I bought up super cubes, and I am loving these. This is the 1 cup size. You can get them also in 2 cups if you're freezing up soups or chili or something like that. Those work really great for that. But this, the 1 cup size, is working great for me, but I need 2 of them, so I'm gonna have to order some more. But inside, they have lines showing you could do 1/2 cup or 1 cup, and most recipes I find I need about 1 cup of broth or 2 cups or something like that. So that's how I'm going to freeze these. If I've got a little bit of broth left over, then I will use these, and then I can add in 1 or 2, however many I need to get the amount I want. I have loved these super cubes. I have frozen broth, I have frozen milk, and I have frozen homemade spaghetti sauce, and they still are not stained. And that to me was the sign of a great product. So you may want to check some of these out. Get whatever size you want. You can buy regular small ice cube trays and use those to freeze it up. Just know how much liquid each of those holds. So if you need a cup of broth, then you know how many cubes you're going to need. And then they go in the freezer, and when I need them, I pull them out. I will usually put them on a really low flame to get them thawed out so I can use it, and then have them available at any time. And it saves me needing to buy broth at the store. I have started substituting this for chicken broth and a couple of different things I do. I have used it to make mushroom gravy to go over a pork chop, and I've made rice with it and used this as liquid instead of water just to give it some more flavor and nutrients. So I've put my broth in a pitcher to help make it easier to pour, and I will just fill these up to the 1 cup mark. Pop on the lid, and so now I've got them in a bag. I've got them labeled so I know what it is, because once they're frozen, this can look like beef broth. So into the freezer they go. And now your vegetable broth is available for you to use whenever you want. Thanks for watching. Be sure and give this a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips on my road to self-reliance.